والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu narrates that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said something to this effect. One umrah to the next is a means of expiation of all minor sins perpetrated between the two umrahs, and there is no reward for an accepted hajj except Jannah. Narrated in Sahih Bukhari.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Fatima Patel is sitting at the window of the lounge of Umar's house, waiting for her sons to come home to her. Her great-granddaughter, Noura, has gone to fetch Fatima's sons and their wives from the airport, while Juwayriya and Zahra prepare brunch for them at home. Today is the day they are returning from their Hajj journey, and Fatima, who has never been without them for such a long period, is looking forward to seeing her boys again.
Wow, Ma, can you believe Daddy and Dada are really coming home? So, the time just flew.
You're right, Bacha. I can't wait to see them.
Everything is ready. I just have to fry the egg bread. It's Dada's favorite, you know. And Zahra's going to set the table here.
Oh, such a different homecoming to the one I had when I came home from Hajj with Yusuf Bhai. Subhanallah, Allah Pak really does send ease after difficulty.
Ma, you know Dada said he had something to tell you. Do you think maybe they found your lost husband after all this time?
Zahra, do you have to be so tactless?
Don't scold her, Bacha. She's just a child. Zahra, for so many years I thought Yaqub was still alive. And I know I told your Dada and Amin Chacha to look out for him in Hajj. Oh, but for some time now, my heart tells me that he passed away.
Ma, what would you do if he's still alive? And by some far chance, if Dada and Amin Chacha actually met him?
I don't know, Bacha. I used to long for him to come home, but now all I want is to find out what actually happened to him.
There are so many possibilities. Papa could have got lost and been taken captive. Or he could have been injured or lost his memory and not known who he was. But Ma, what if you had to find out he deserted you? Would you be able to ever forgive him?
When I was younger, I used to think that I would never forgive him. But as I got older, I realized that life is not worth living if we hold grudges. And if Yaqub did desert us all those years ago, he must have had a reason to do it. I forgave Yaqub a long time ago. May Allah forgive him too.
After a delicious brunch prepared by the girls, Umar's wife Sadia goes upstairs to unpack, while Amin's wife Hafsa, who is feeling sick, goes to lie down. The girls clear the table and then sit down with Fatima and their Dada and his brother to listen to their Hajj story.
I'm so happy you all came home safely.
Ma was just waiting for you all to return. Now tell us about your trip.
It was amazing. Absolutely the best trip of my life. In fact, I wish that I had made Hajj when I was younger. I really don't know why I put it off for so long.
I mean, I used to make so much dua that Allah Pak calls you to His house. But maybe your labbaik was written now.
Ma, it was such an experience. But Makkah and Medina were absolutely nothing like the way you described it.
Of course it wasn't, Amin. It's been over 60 years since my Hajj.
Ma told us the story of her Hajj all those years ago.
Dada, it sounded fantastic going across the sea in a ship and spending such a long time in those lands.
I don't think Ma would describe it as fantastic after all the hardship she had to bear on that journey.
Dada, we've been waiting for you to come back. You said you had something important to tell us. Don't keep us in suspense.
All right. So we met someone in Hajj and he had a story to share.
Was it about Yaqub?
It was, Ma. It was. Are you ready to hear this?
Amin, I've been waiting my whole life to hear this.
All right, Ma. The man we met, he told us the story of what happened to Papa.
Oh my word, this is so shocking.
He knew your father, Dada.
Who was he? Come on, Dada, tell us.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, Ma, this man Amin met him first. He's an Arab man, but he speaks English. His name is Abdullah.
An Arab? I thought you were going to give me some news about Yaqub.
We are getting to that, Ma. See, I was looking for Umar after I finished the first pelting in Mina. So I saw this man who looked exactly like him. But he turned out to be someone else. The resemblance was so strong that I had to find out who he was. So I took him back to our camp to get more details.
Ma, this is going to come back as a shock. But we found out that Abdullah is actually Papa's other son from an Arab woman.
Oh my word, that's chaotic.
Super intriguing. More like?
But how? Why? I don't understand.
Ma, Abdullah is a few years younger than us. Umar, you tell them the story.
When Papa got separated from you in Mina, it was done purposefully. He had his passport and papers on him, and he felt that it would be the perfect time to disappear. You see, Ma, he was in deep financial difficulty here at home. He had opened the factory on your father's strength, and when he got into debt, he had no way of getting out of it. So he decided to stay on in Saudi Arabia and reinvent himself.
Ya Allah! And everyone thought he was dead.
What a selfish thing for a man to do, Dada. Didn't he think about Ma and his two little boys?
Noura, when a man is having financial problems, he doesn't think straight.
But still, there's no excuse.
You are right, Juwairia. It is no excuse. But, well...
Whatever his intention is not important anymore. Go on by. I want to know what happened.
Abdullah told us that Papa completed his Hajj after he left you. He had to hide and make sure he didn't bump into you at the Jamrat over the next couple of days. But somehow he managed. He had nothing on him except his ihram and the small bag with a few essentials that he had taken to Arafat. So he completed his Hajj and stayed on in the desert, living amongst the Bedouin.
Wow, that must have been some adventure.
Zahra!
Oh, sorry.
Ya Allah! I remember Yaqub telling me after Arafat that he wished he could just stay there forever if he had just told me about it.
Ma, in those days, lots of men kept their business life separate from their family life. And not many men could share their financial troubles with anyone, least of all their own wives.
But how did Papa have another son then? This Abdullah that you met?
Quite a story, actually. After Hajj, Papa stayed on in the desert, moving about so that he wouldn't be caught by the authorities. Lots of people left stuff behind in Mina, so he collected up whatever clothing and food supplies he needed and just stayed on.
And after some time in the desert, when his supplies were running out, he came across a group of Bedouins. They were suspicious of him at first, but when they saw that he had nothing, they invited him to join them.
But I'm sure he didn't speak Arabic, so how did he even understand them?
Abdullah told us that they communicated mostly in signs, but after joining their caravan, Papa picked up the language quite quickly.
That doesn't surprise me. Yaqub was very good at languages. He could speak fluent Urdu and Gujarati, and he even knew Afrikaans and some local languages.
So then, what happened?
Papa stayed with the Bedouins, moving about with them in the desert, and after some time, when he could speak fluent Arabic, they offered one of their daughters in marriage to him.
Wow! So he actually married a Bedouin woman and had a kid with her?
Yes, I suppose. He had no intention of ever returning home to us.
Shame, Ma. He must be feeling terrible hearing this story.
No, Bacha, I'm actually relieved. I always wanted to know what happened to my husband. In my heart of hearts, I always knew he wasn't dead.
So did this Abdullah take you to meet your father, Dada?
No, my child. It didn't turn out like that. Abdullah told us that Papa had already passed away last year. We were too late to meet our father, but Abdullah did take us to his qabr in General Mala in Makkah.
Hearing the story of Yaqub, Fatima feels a range of emotions flood through her. She is sad that he never returned to South Africa and that he never knew his two sons. But for the first time in over 60 years, her heart is at ease, finally knowing the story of what happened to her husband.
मुझको बुलाएगा मैं काबे को देखूंगा वो दिन भी तो आएगा मैं काबे को देखूंगा रब मुझको